Welcome to the Arizona Early Intervention Program's presentation on the changes in procedural safeguards. These changes are the result of new federal requirements for the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, Part C. This webinar is one in a series created to help Arizona's early intervention community understand and implement the new requirements effective July 1st, 2012. In the new IDEA Part C regulations, there are 3 new requirements for consent. The service coordinator must obtain consent for screening, the child assessment prior to conducting the initial or annual child assessment, and to use public or private insurance. Consent to use insurance must be obtained for the initial provision of an early intervention service, and each time there is an increase in frequency, length, duration, or intensity in the provision of services. For example, whenever the IFSP Services Addendum page is used. The AZEP Service Coordinator has the responsibility to ensure that parents are fully informed of their rights to consent and to decline services. The Service Coordinator is also responsible for ensuring that the consent is translated, if necessary, so that the parent understands the consent being given. Consent should be obtained for the following activities: screening, child assessment, evaluation, initiation or change in the provision of services, use of private or public insurance, and the disclosure of records and personally identifiable information. Service coordinators must obtain consent for child assessment, use of insurance, and to disclose records and personally identifiable information, but prior written notice is not required. Prior written notice is required under IDEA Part C to ensure families are provided information about the actions being proposed or refused surrounding their child's participation in AZEP before the action takes place. Prior written notice is intended to give families information so they can make informed choices and decisions in the delivery of supports and services for their child and family. Prior written notice must be given to the parent when AZEP proposes or refuses to initiate or change the identification or screening, evaluation and eligibility of the child, or provision of the early intervention services. Prior written notice is provided to a parent after a team makes its decisions and before the implementation of those decisions. Written information of family rights and procedural safeguards, which may include the Procedural Safeguards Family Rights Handbook, is to accompany every prior written notice sent. Prior written notice must be in sufficient detail to inform the parent about the action that is being proposed or refused, the reasons for taking the action, and all procedural safeguards available under the federal regulations, including a description of mediation, how to file a complaint and a due process hearing, and the timelines under those procedures. The notice must be understandable to the general public, provided in the native language of the parent unless it is clearly not feasible to do so. If the native language or other mode of communication of the parent is not a written language, the notice must be translated orally or by other means to the parent in the parent's native language or other mode of communication unless clearly not feasible to do so. This prior written notice table lists each activity where prior written notice is required and the AZEP forms to be used to provide the family with prior written notice. Thank you for viewing the Procedural Safeguards Prior Written Notice and Consent module. There are 3 other modules related to procedural safeguards. For more information, go to the AZEP website and please refer to AZEP Policy Chapter 7.